Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, please lead us from unreality to the reality, from ignorance to the knowledge, and from immortality to the immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, so we were discussing the formation and the function of the three seers. And today we'll be discussing the verse number 12, which is at the end, I mean, the last verse of this present topic. So how this Antakarana, and especially mind, how it is formed and how it functions, we did try to understand with a few earlier verses. So author particularly he tries to describe more regarding the formation and the function of the mind. Why? Because whole of our life, our perception and our understandings, everything depends on the mind. And the mind is a reason for our bondage and for the liberation. Manayeva karanam bandha mokshayoho. As we see, as we perceive, so that is what our effect is. That's why the author has taken pain to discuss about the mind and its functions more. So the real nature of the antakarana, the mind or inner organ, is further described, and he ends this particular topic in the verse number 12. Mano aham kruti upadanam lingamekam jadatmakam avastatrayam manveti jayate mriyate tata. The subtle body, which is the material cause of the mind and egoism, is one, and its nature is insentiency. It moves in the three states of experience and is born and it dies. So the author is trying to tell is the mind is the part of the subtle body, or the subtle body is the material substance for the mind and for the egoism also. And its nature is insentient. The self is sentient, the Sakshi is sentient, and whereas the mind, it is highly active, highly volatile, highly restless, highly capable. We all discuss about the nature of the mind, function of the mind, power of the mind, no doubt, but in reality, it is insentient. It draws the energy and the power from the Sakshi or from the consciousness. And these functions of the mind is it presents in the three states of existence or experience. This is which is very unique and new thing for all of us. Why? If you remember Avastatra Vichara, which I did in a very snapshot form, in a very little form in the Tattvabodha, there I had said, in the external or in the waking state, we experience the external universe, our physical body, that is sense organs, the subtle body, and the causal body. Everything is active according to us. And when it comes to dream state, only mind is active. The physical body is not active. Only the mind portion of the subtle body is only active. And when it comes to deep sleep state, neither the physical body nor the subtle body is active, only the causal body is active. That's how I'd explain. That's what author means there. But here, author is saying that the mind is active in the three states of experience, in the waking state, in the dream state, and also in the deep sleep state. This is a new understanding for all of us. Why author mentions this and what does he mean? We shall try to see. Now, we all know that the author tried to discuss mind has got two components based on its function. One is dravyamsha, material part or substance part, and the other is thought part, that is vrutyamsha, which has been discussed already. And this mind is a part of subtle body. And the subtle body has got 17 components according to Tattvabodha author, and also the Drik, Drishya, Viveka author also goes with the 17 parts. 5 sense organs of action, 5 sense organs of knowledge, 5 pancha pranas, Then two is mana and ahankara, or mana and chitta. Here manas and buddhi has been taken. So these are the 17 parts. But the subtle body is inert in itself. It becomes active when it draws energy from the sakshi, and it becomes active, and it also sends energy for the sense organs. That's how the sense organs becomes active. So the subtle body is acting as a part of reflecting medium. Just probably if you remember my earlier classes, when I'm standing in front of a mirror, my reflection is seen. Why? Because of the mirror, isn't it? So the my image is called reflection of consciousness, and the mirror is what reflecting medium. So here also the mind is what the reflecting medium, and chit chaya is what reflection of consciousness. Fine. Now after death, what happens? After death, the physical body perishes, whereas subtle body survives, and it travels and it enters the new body. That's what in very symbolic way the author has told. When, say, for example, a person is died, a person has died means his physical body gets perished, no doubt, but his subtle body travels from one physical body to another. So the soul or the self never travels, only the subtle body travels. That can be understood by clearly by this. Now, in the waking state, mind, sense organs, and the external universe is perceptible. We perceive. And in the dream state, the only mind is active. The mind forms the mind takes the function of a perceiver, and mind takes the form of the perceived, that is what the world, external universe. It enjoys the external universe. It is the experiencer and experienced. This we know that. In deep sleep state, what happens? Self and ignorance, which is nothing but causal body, exist. Till now, that's what we had understood. Now the author says that even in the deep sleep state, mind exists. He made this mention. How to understand this? Why? Because now, for us, any knowledge, how it happens? Any knowledge because through the vrittis, modification of the mind, which is called vritti. I am getting some knowledge about Vedanta, or about the material universe, or the matter, or about the atoms, whatever it may be. Either externally or internally, it is because of the vritti. All of my experiences and the knowledge I get from vrittis. Now I went to the deep sleep state. During the deep sleep duration, I don't know, I didn't know what happened. But the moment I got up, I raised from the bed, I felt that, or I experienced, or I have a knowledge that I had a deep sleep. That is fine. That is fine. It is only subjective experience, no doubt. But I have got an experience and I have got a knowledge that I had a deep sleep in the last night. So, how this knowledge can come if the mind is not there? So that's why the author tells that there the sukshma body, the sukshma sharira, the subtle body is passive. So the mind is passive, no doubt, but it is functional. Only maybe like 0.1% or 1% of the mind is functioning. That's why I have got this knowledge of the deep sleep. So from this angle, from this point, author is trying to mention that the subtle body, or with special reference to mind, mind is active in all the three states of experience. Otherwise, if not, according to the author, the moment I get up, then I would not have experienced, or I would not have knowledge that I had a deep sleep. Now, the seer 3 doesn't have any birth and death. It is eternal, but whereas the subtle body travels from one body to another. That's what he's telling. And this idea has been told very clearly in the Gita in the second chapter, 20th sloka. Najayate, mriyate, va kadachi, nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyah, ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. The self is neither born, nor does it ever die, nor having existed at some point of time, does it ever ceases to be. The self is without birth, without death, It is eternal and it is immortal and it is ageless. It is not destroyed when the body is destroyed. So now the author is trying to tell us that so we are mixed ourselves with the seer 1, seer 2, and seer 3. When a person is died, it is only the physical body or a gross body has been left out, it gets disintegrated. The subtle body and causal body travels from the old body and it enters the mother's womb or it enters the new physical body. And it keeps on taking birth after birth till the emancipation. But whereas the self never travels and the self never takes neither the birth nor the death. Then the birth and death is for what? The birth and death is for only for sukshma sharira, that is for the subtle body or for the mind also. So to make this point clear, the birth and death is only for the subtle body and the mind or the causal body, not for the self. To make this idea clear, the author has mentioned that the self never dies or it is never born. The only subtle body travels from one body to another. So after completing this idea, now the author takes the new idea. Because the formation and the function of seers has been seen in the 6 and 12, automatically, how much ever we say that the Brahman and the consciousness or the Sakshi or the Atman alone is real and everything else is appearance. Even if you remember Tattva Bodha, there also he said, what is that? Atmameva Satyam Anyat Sarvam Mithya. How much ever we listen, how much ever we hear, but we get a doubt, we get a question. Most of us, we get a inquisitiveness. That's fine. I am the self, and the self is only real. That's fine. But then what about this universe? Because every day we experience from dawn to dusk, from our as soon as we get up until our sleep, deep sleep, we go to deep sleep, we experience this universe. It is so palpable and it is so tangible. So what is this then? Okay, is it appearance only? If so, when did it start, this appearing? How did it start? Where did it start? All these questions can, probably come and it can cover our mind or cover our thoughts. So, having known our problem, having known our queries or inquisitiveness, now the author takes the problem of this world and its existence. How this world came into existence? First and foremost, whether the world is real or appearance. If the world has come into existence, if so, when, how, why. All these things are being answered. Now, here only the post-Shankarite philosophers are, other than Advaitins, everyone has attacked on Advaita Vedanta because of Maya. Now, this postulation of Maya or the idea of Panchikarana, how the world came into existence, all these things are Advaita Vedantins are not really interested in all these things. They are only interested in the Brahman or to explain and to realize or to experience the Brahman, which is our real nature. But still, we have got the inquisitiveness, we have got a doubt, we have got a question. So they are trying to explain with the help of Maya and with the help of theory of Panchikarana. So the Advaitins never want or never intended to explain what is Maya and what is Panchikarana, only to fulfill our doubts and queries they have answered. So that we have to understand. Why this point I am telling? Many times we say, Swamiji, you Advaita Vedanta, you say that Brahman alone is real and everything is appearance and nothing exists actually. And in Mandukya Karika, they say Ajativada. World never came into existence. I'm never born and world never came into existence. If so, then why there's so many, what do you say, examples and so much explanations about the world and world's existence or how the world came into existence? Why that so many theories? Only because we have got question to fulfill our inquisitiveness, the authors or the Advaita Vedantins or the philosophers of Advaita Vedanta, they are trying to tell that we have to understand. Now, when we try to explain or when we try to understand the universe, whether universe is real, How did it come into existence? When it came into existence, we have to understand the relationship between cause and effect. That is what called theory of causation. Theory of causation is what? The relationship between the cause and the effect. The effect, does effect pre-exist in the cause? First question. Does effect is different from cause? Second question. Does really the cause has been transformed into effect? Third question. So these type of questions are answered in the theory of causation. This theory of causation is very important for all of us. Why? That gives the answer for the existence of the world or how the world came into existence. Now, coming to Advaita Vedanta, what is the cause for this external universe? If you take this external universe as a product or the effect, what is the cause for it? If you ask, the answer is told by Advaita Vedantins is the Brahman is the cause. And the cause has got two types of causes. One is efficient cause, the other is material cause. The potter and the clay, both are Brahman here. Now, the immediate question will come, Swamiji, Brahman is only consciousness. Brahman is only pure awareness, bare awareness. How the pure consciousness or bare awareness can be the cause for the creation of this universe? The next logical question will come to any person who is thinking seriously, who is following my logical arguments. Then the Advaita Vedantins postulate the theory of the Maya. What is Maya? Maya is the power of the Brahman. How to understand? For example, fire and its burning power. If you take the fire as the Brahman, the burning power can be known as Maya. So Brahma Shakti is Maya. And this Brahma Shakti slowly, it has taken the form of goddesses in the Tantras or in the Vishtadvaita and also in the Advaita philosophy. Whatever we say Maya, the Brahma Shakti, the Shakti of Brahman in Advaita Vedanta, that has taken the form of universal mother in Tantra Shastras, in Vishishtadvaita as a Lakshmi or Mother Shri, and in the Dvaita, Lakshmi or Parvati or whatever. Now, so what is that power of Maya? How to understand that has been told in the 13th sloka. Shakti dvayam hi mayaya vikshepa rutti rupakam. Vikshepa shaktir lingadi brahmandantam jagat srujet. How this world came into existence, how this world has been created, has been told here. The two powers undoubtedly are predicated of Maya, namely those of projecting and covering. The projecting power creates everything from the subtle body to the gross universe. So we have got subtle body, we have got physical body, and also we have got the external universe. Everything has been created by the Maya, that is Brahma Shakti, from the Vikshepa Shakti, they are told. Now, before entering into this difficult concept, I would like to explain a bit about the theory of creation or theory of causation. Now, the cause is Brahman or the effect is the world. Or still simple example I will take before that. Now, the effect is called curds. How the curd came? Because of the milk. So the effect called curd, and the cause is what? The milk. Now here, there are a lot of theories and a lot of discussions and debates. Now milk has been transformed into curds. Fine. So the cause is a milk and the effect is curds. Now whether the curds pre-existed in the milk, that is the question. If you say yes, then you are called Satkaryavadin. Means the effect pre-exists in the cause. Now someone say, if no. Because I don't see curd in the milk, so the curd never pre-existed in the curd. If you someone of you argue, then you are known as Asatkaryavadin. So these are the main two divisions in the theory of causation. Now if you accept, now like for example, you say that no, the effect, the curd called effect It never existed in the cause. It is a new thing. That is when then you are a Satkaryavadin. Satkaryavadin, no, the curd pre-existed in the cause called milk. Then again there is a two divisions abroad. Now the milk has been transformed into curd. If you say accept, then you are called Parinamavadin. No, the milk is appearing as the curd. The milk is appearing as the curd, if you say, then you are called Vivartavadin, where Advaitavadins follow under this category. Theory of appearance. Now, Vishishtadvaita, qualified Manoish, they belong in Parinamavada. The milk has been transformed into curds. So the power of God has been created or converted into world. But whereas the Advaita Vedantins say, no, Brahman is appearing as the world. So this is what Vivartavadins. So we come and the Advaita Vedanta philosophy of theory of causation come under Vivartavada, which is a part of Satkaryavada. So this a major understanding. And how, by taking this example of part, the clay and the pot, the Advaitavadins substantiate their arguments. Now, there's the lump of clay is there. That is called cause. And the potter nicely, using the clay, he prepares a pot. He prepares a lid. He prepares a jar. Different earthenwares he prepares. So now the pot or the lid or the jar, they are all the effect. What is the cause? Cause is what? Clay. Now, so the potter has prepared different earthenwares from the clay. Fine. Now you keep one side clay, leftover clay, and one side you keep pot and jar and lid or plate, earthen plate. Now, if you ask, both are one and the same or different? Most of us, we explain, most of us, we argue, both are different. That is a clay. It is just a lump of clay. And this is pot, this is jar, and this is a plate. Both are different. It is obvious. Any commonsensical person can say, well, we did not study Advaita Vedanta, Swami, like that you may say. But the Advaita Vedantins will laugh at our answer. They say, no, my dear, you are wrong. Why? Both are different. Why wrong? They say that, no, the clay is appearing as part. The clay has been given a particular form. That's how it is called part. In the part, there is something. Is there anything else different from the clay? You remove the clay, then does part exist of its own form? No. That means what? The clay has got particular form, particular shape. Based on the shape, round color, then you call it as a part. Then the clay has been made a surface level or a in the particular shape, then you call plate. Then the clay has been given a particular shape, then you call it as a jar. That means the clay substance, based on the shape, you have given different names. So the clay, because different forms, so because of different forms, different names has been given. Otherwise, clay only real, and it has got different names and forms. So that means clay is appearing as pot, clay is appearing as jar, clay is appearing as a lamp, clay is appearing as a plate. The moment you remove the clay from all of them, everything ceases to exist. That means what? Name and form are really appearance. So this example, if you understand properly, the theory of appearance, the Vivartavada, you understand, and how the Brahman is appearing as Brahman is appearing as the world, you'll be able to understand. So that's why it is very important example. The clay has been given a particular shape. Based on the shapes, it has got different functions, no doubt. It is used for different actions, no doubt. Different shapes, because on the shapes for our conversation or transaction, we have got different names. So now you have given pot and jar and plate and lamp, and you remove the clay from all of them. Does anything exist? Nothing exists. Everything ceases to exist. That means the clay is appearing as different items. So it is all appearance. It is not real. So similarly, the Brahman is appearing as the world. We have to understand. And still more, I will give this is lesson number one. The clay plus name and form, the clay cause has got cause plus name and form, then that is called effect. Clay is the cause plus round shape, it is a part, effect. Clay, cause, it is a surface, I mean, it is a blank, a particular, probably a particular level, particular shape, lamp shape, and it is called the name called lamp. So cause plus name and form, you are calling it as an effect. Cause plus name and form, by that's what you are calling the effect. Effect is nothing but cause plus name and form. There's a lump of gold, then you brought a round one, then it is called bangles. So because it has got round shape in a particular size, particular circumference, then it is used for covering the hands. That's why it is called bangles. Then the same round, it is very small ones. That's how it. Then I used it to pierce my ears. Use the same gold, same shape, but small ones. That's why we are calling earrings because we are using for ear. The same gold, it is very thinner and the circle and I used for nose, then it became nose ring. Again, cast called gold, different shapes, different forms, and they are called effect. Similarly, wood. You take the wood and chair, table, desk, what all things we can do. So cause plus name and form, that is what effect. This is what lesson number one. Now, lesson number two, we have to understand very important. Did the potter produce any new thing in the pot or in the plate or in the lamp or in the jar? All of them are earthenware, no doubt. He used the clay, he used the water, he duffed it, and nicely with his skill, he brought different shapes, no doubt. Did he bring any new thing? Did he do any new thing? Did he add any new thing? If you ask the, we will say, yes, Swamiji, because of the skill only he could bring the part. Because I cannot bring the part from using the clay. Or you cannot, probably you cannot bring the part using the clay. Definitely he brought new thing. If you say, then again Advaita Vedantin will laugh at you or will laugh at me. He says that Potter didn't do anything. Then Potter didn't do anything. He used his skills, he used a labor, and he gave a shape for all the clay so that we are able to use. If you ask, the Advaita Vedantin say that it is not so. Why? The shape, whatever the shape you have seen, everything was pre-existing in the clay. That's why he was able to bring. If nothing pre-exists, he cannot bring because we belong in Satkaryavada. The effect pre-exists in the cause. So we should remember. So whatever the shapes you are seeing in the or with the earthen pot or the lid or the lamp or the jar, everything was pre-existing in the cause, the clay, in the potential form in the clay. That's why he was able to bring it out. So the potter didn't, he only manifested whatever the things which was pre-existed in a potential form in the cause. So this is also very important. One is cause plus name and form is effect. Lesson number one. Or lesson number two is potter didn't do anything. He only manifested whichever was in the potential form. That you have to understand. Means the shape is not added by the potter. Shape pre-existed in the clay. He only brought it out. He is only instrumental. He is the instrumental cause or nimitta karana. So that means what? Cause plus unmanifested name and form. With the help of potter, he brought substance plus manifested name and form. First is cause plus name and form, effect. Now, substance plus unmanifested name and form. The effect is substance plus manifested name and form. So the creation is the only manifestation of name and form. That's what the author is trying to tell. So to make us understand, I did all this exercise. Now we will try to understand with respect to Advaita Vedanta. Now cause is Brahman plus Maya. Who is the potter here? Potter is Ishvara. What did he do? He brought the world, universe, external universe, this created universe. Means what happened? In the cause, Brahman plus Maya means what? Maya is unmanifested Nama and Rupa. Brahman plus unmanifested name and form. The Ishvara brought, what did he bring? World is what? Brahman plus manifested name and form, which is very scientific, very rational, which is very important, maybe subtle also. The cause is what? Brahman plus Maya. How we are defining Maya here? We are defining Maya is unmanifested name and form. Fine. The potter brings the pot from the clay. The Ishvara brings the world. He creates the world using the Brahman plus Maya. So world is what? How do you define universe? The Advaita Vedantin defines universe as Brahman plus manifested name and form. So Brahman unmanifested name and form has been appearing as Brahman plus manifested name and form. This is what? Nothing but the creation. How this world came into existence. What is this world, if you ask? The Advaita Vedantin says that the Brahman plus unmanifested name and form is been appearing as Brahman plus manifested name and form. So does the theory of creation, does Advaita Vedantins or Advaita philosophy accept? Do you think they don't accept? They only accept in the theory of projection. They don't believe in the theory of creation. So even the modern science also accepts it. Why? No energy can be created nor destroyed. So similarly, no matter can be created nor destroyed. It is only changeable states. So similarly, nothing can be created. It can be only projected. So creation means what? Manifestation of name and form. Then pralaya, atyantika pralaya, we say dissolution of the universe. If you ask what happens, then the conversion of manifested name and form goes into the unmanifested state. That's all. And this subtle, beautiful, rational idea has been discussed or has been mentioned by Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita in the 8th chapter, 18th sloka. Avyakta Dvaktaya Sarvaha Prabhavantya Haragame Ratriagame Praliyante Tatraiva Vyakta Sannake. In a symbolic way, Krishna has told that. At the beginning of the Brahma's day, all things that are manifest arise from all things that are manifest arise from the unmanifest. At the beginning of the Brahma's night, they resolve in it alone, which is called the unmanifest. So in the eighth chapter, 18th sloka, this has been told by Sri Krishna very clearly. Now just I will explain about Maya, then I will take the verse. So Maya means here, it is the Brahma Shakti, the power of the Brahman. And how this Maya is defined? One is power of Brahman, the other is the unmanifested form of name and form according to the author with this particular verse. And this, according to the verse, the Maya has got two powers. One is Avarna Shakti, veiling power, covering power. And the second is Vikshepa Shakti, the power of projection. So Maya is what? The power of Brahman. How it has been described? It is described as the unmanifested form of name and form. And function, if you ask, it has got two powers. One is the power of concealing, the other is the power of projection. If you understand, then we'll be able to understand the 13th verse. Now the question may come for all of us. Swamiji, why are you making us to do all this mental, intellectual gymnastics or intellectual exercise? Why? Because ignorance is the root cause for all our problems. We are ignorant about ourselves or we are ignorant about the reality. So the author is trying to remove the misidentification. The author is trying to remove the ignorance. The author is trying to remove the misconception. Okay, who am I? I am the self, I am the Atman. You keep on explaining, that is enough. Why should I understand about the world? 2 points. Because from the two reasons. One is because we have got a doubt or we have got a question. What is this world? What is its nature? When did it came into existence? First point. If not, I'm not interested in that. If so, but still I am attaching myself. I am attached to this world and its objects. or either with this body and mind or with this object, or with this world and its object. So the author is trying to remove this misidentification from the body and mind as well as from this external world. So to get remove the attachment, he is trying to make us understand what is this body and mind, what is this world and its object. The moment when I understand what it is, then I'll be able to detach myself. It will be easy for me to detach. Here, detachment is not physical detachment, it is the detachment which is at the level of intellect. How to understand this? So, for an example, mirage. The first time we are probably traveling in the Sahara Desert, we saw, and we are all thirsty and we are all feeling so hot. Immediately we saw the water body. We all felt, oh, there is a water body, we'll go and drink, and we'll probably, if enough water, we'll have a swimming or we'll have a water bath, bathing or whatnot. Then we went, and that water body is going little far, far, far. After some part of time, after some time, either it disappeared or I understood that it is only an appearance, it is only mirage. Okay, my illusion has been removed, so I have been disillusioned. Fine. Then again, I continued my travel in the desert. After some time, again I saw a water body. But now the mind is telling, my dear, already once you became a buffoon. Once you already got cheated, so it is an appearance. There is no water body actually. So don't get don't get illusion. So already I'm disillusioned. So nothing can affect me. Nothing can change me. Now we are illusioned. So to be disillusioned, all this mental exercise or this intellectual exercise, it has to be done. Because ignorance is where? Ignorance is in our mind or in our thinking. So by giving the right knowledge, by giving the right understanding, the ignorance can be removed or it can be destroyed. That's why the author or the philosophers, they make all this intellectual gymnastics or intellectual exercises with us. Now, one more point is very important, where we have to understand. The author is hinting here. Maya has got Avarna Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti. Avarna Shakti is power of covering, and Vikshepa Shakti is power of projection. So, with respect to macro, or with respect to universe, with respect to macrocosmos, only Vikshepa Shakti, the power of projection, works, and Avarna Shakti, the power of concealing, never works or it doesn't get activated. This we have to understand, very important. And whereas with the individual level, Vikshepa Shakti, the power of projection, and the Avarna Shakti, the power of concealing or the power of covering or veiling, it works. This also we have to understand. And this is what the power of Maya. And when I say, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahman, I have to understand, this I refers to what? I refers to Brahman. Fine. But in generally, when we say I, actually this I refers to the mixture of seer number 1, seer number 2, and seer number 3. The I doesn't refer in our day-to-day transaction analysis as an embodied self, as an individual being. The I refers to all these three seers. Why? Because without Sakshi, seer number 1 and seer number 2 become insensitive or insentient. And without seer 2, the mind, the Sakshi can never say that I am the Sakshi, or I am the Chaitanya, or I am this, or I am that. It cannot say. And without Sakshi too, Sakshi one becomes insentient because it cannot get energy directly from the Sakshi or seer number 3. So at the individual level, when we say I refers to seer number 1, seer number 2, seer number 3, all put together as a one unit. When I say Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahman, when this I we are saying that, again, I refers to all these three things. That's where our identification with the body and mind refers. That's why when I keep on saying I am that Brahman, I am that Brahman, I am that Brahman. So attachment with seer number 1 and seer number 2 has to go. Now, how that happened, that's where the power of Maya or the role of Maya or the Vikshepa Shakti comes into picture. Now, when the Ishvara thought that let me become many, he projected the world. He projected the world, and that's how the world is appearing. Ishvara projected the world from his mind, that's how the world is appearing. Now, how I am experiencing, I am also this mind is also this part of the universal mind. That's why I am able to perceive this world. Fine, there is no problem. But my Ishvara has projected this universe, but Ishvara is not attached to this universe. Whereas I am able to perceive this projected universe, but at the same time, I am attached to this universe. Why? Because of the concealing power of the Maya, which is called Avarna Shakti. I am able to see this projected universe, no doubt, because of the power of Maya, there is the layer of ignorance has been covered on myself or on the Sakshi. That's why I am attached to the body and mind. I am attached to this name and form, manifested name and form called Jagat or the world. And that's how I feel that something happens to the world. I feel that pain and it is happening to me. Something happens to my body. I am morose. Why? Because I have got attachment to my body. I am dull. I am happy. I am good. I am bad. I am loser and I am gainer. All these things are the part and parcel of the functions and the role of the mind. But because of my attachment to all these things, I take upon on me. Why? Because of the avarna shakti. That means what? In technical, if you want me to say, individual is a mixture of satyam, and mithya. Satyam is what? The CA number 3, and mithya is what? CA number 2 and CA number 1. Now, Druk Drishya Viveka. Druk is what? CA number 3. And the CA number 3 is attached with the body and mind, or the CA number 3 is attached with the world, external world. The Viveka, the discrimination has to be encouraged, or it has to be practiced, it has to be done time and again. Why? Because the CA number 3 has to be differentiated or discriminated from CA number 2 and CA number 1, or from this manifested Nama and Rupa, that is what Jagat or the world. That's why we have to undergo this mental exercise. Now, how this world came into existence? Because the Ishvara thought, and because the Ishvaras are the Brahmans Shakti called Vikshepa Shakti, the power of projection, because of that, the Brahman is appearing as the world. Or the Brahman plus unmanifested Nama and Rupa, which is appearing as Brahman plus manifestation of Nama and Rupa. So, how this world came into existence, now we understood. Now, that means Brahman has become the cause of the universe, isn't it? But really speaking, Brahman is not the cause of the universe, though it looks tautology that has been explained in the 14th verse. That is, let us try to understand. Srushtir Nama Brahma Rupe Satchidananda Vastuni Abdau Fenadivat Sarvanama Rupa Prasarana. It's a beautiful example. The manifestation or the manifesting of all names and forms is the entity, which is existence, consciousness, bliss absolute, and which is the same as Brahman, like the forms, etc., is known as creation. I just shall give you an example. Now, I went to the seashore. And I was sitting in the seashore and we are playing and we are seeing wonderful, small, tiny waves. Oh, so beautiful. Sometimes tiny waves, they are coming below the knee. We were enjoying and we were playing with the water. And when the tiny waves comes and when we were going, we see small bubbles also, water bubbles. And sometimes we see foam. Fine. Sometimes if the size of the wave is more, then it splashes on us and our body and especially our clothes get wet. We are all enjoying with all this water and the foam or the water bubbles and whatever not. Then a person is sitting at the corner and is simply is gazing at us and gazing at the ocean. Then we thought, I think this person has got no aesthetic sense and is gazing and is not enjoying such a beauty. Then I went and approached, sir, why are you gazing so plain? You have got a plain look. Why are you not enjoying the seashore? Then he asked, yes, fine. What is there to enjoy or what do you want to enjoy? Say, oh, beautiful seashore, ocean, waves, foam, water bubbles, all these things. Fine. Yeah. Now, do you think that ocean and water waves, the ocean and its waves are one and the same or different? Ocean and the waves are different or the same? Looks like one and the same, but looks like different also. Then ocean water bubbles. Ocean and water bubbles. Water bubbles takes birth in ocean, but I think they're different. What about the foam? Foam is made up of ocean and some dirt maybe, but they're different. That's how general our perception sometimes. But he asks to think us little deeply. Then when we think deeply, we understand that either water bubbles or the foam or the waves are nothing but the water alone. The water, the ocean water is appearing as wave. The ocean water is appearing as because the air is mixed with the water, is appearing as bubbles. And the ocean water mixed with the, either air or some dirt or whatever, because of that, it is appearing as a foam. Either you take with the foam or water bubbles or waves, the main substance is what? Water. Because of the different form, you are calling different name. So water, the ocean water is real, but it is appearing as wave sometimes, it is something as bubbles, water bubbles, and sometimes it is foam. So, but actually, the ocean water, the ocean or the water alone is real, all other an appearance. So here also the author is trying to tell that the Brahman alone is real. Only Brahman is appearing as different. It looks like that because of different name and form. We are saying that Brahman is the cause of the universe, but really it doesn't exist at all. How to understand this? Because if you remove the water from the wave, does wave exist? Wave ceases to exist. That means what? That means actually if it ceases to exist, it doesn't exist at all. You remove the water from the bubbles, water bubbles, then bubbles can exist, it cannot exist. That means water bubbles didn't really exist. If you remove the water from the foam, does it exist anything in the sea foam? No. That means all of them ceases to exist. When all of them ceases to exist, then where is the uh, reason or where is the argument that the water is the cause for all these things? So this is what the logic. So this is basically called Ajativada, which is given by Mandukya Karika. Means the world never existed at all. Then where is the question of the Brahman is appearing as the world, Brahman is the efficient cause, or the Brahman is the material cause, or Brahman is what type of cause? All these questions doesn't come at all. So first thing, Brahman, how it can be the cause for the universe, it has been told. So when we understand, the author is trying to take us still more above intellectually. The Brahman is never the cause of the universe. Why? Because the universe is mere appearance. It doesn't have real existence. When it doesn't have real existence, the cause also cannot be real cause. That means Brahman cannot be the real cause for the appearance of the universe. Why? Because the universe doesn't exist at all. So that's what how to understand. So we let us try to understand in the next class. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.